Hello viewers, today we are going to learn definition and scope of econometrics. Econometrics subject is very essential for commerce, business and economics students at undergraduate and postgraduate level. Then what is its role or importance? It is a very important area of study. It helps to test economic theories. Its methods are useful to analyze practical business and planning problems. Its methods are also useful to the individual, firms as well as government to the appropriate decisions to take. Econometrics is an essential subject to learn for commerce, business and economics students. How this subject is very useful to the individual entrepreneurs and government. For example, the government wanted to increase the tax rate. Then how much to increase? At what rate it should increase? The increase of tax rate will burden on the marginal groups like poor or medium. So, which section of the population suffers? For all types of questions, the econometrics will help to provide answers. Similarly, for an entrepreneur, the econometric techniques will also very useful. If an entrepreneur wants to increase his sales by fixing a lower price, to fix how much price? Then by fixing the lower price, how many units he can sell, or by fixing the higher price, how many units he will be able to sell. For all types of economic problems, the econometrics will answer. Therefore, it is very essential and important to learn the economic methods, economics, commerce as well as business students. Then what is the meaning of econometrics? Econometrics deals with the measurement of economic relationships. At undergraduate level, many economic students must be known about well-known theory of demand. Demand depends on its various factors like price of the commodity and substitutes price, consumers' income and taste and preferences of the consumer. The relationship between the quantity demanded and its various determinants or factors, we can call them as economic variables. To measure the influence of these variables on dependent variable, we will be able to know with the help of econometric methods. So, therefore, econometrics deals with the measurement of economic relationships. So, econometrics is a combination of economic theory, mathematical economics and statistics. Then we take the definitions of econometrics. The famous author Arthur S. Goldberger has defined econometrics as the social science in which the tools of economic theory, mathematics and statistical inference are applied to the analysis of economic phenomena. And another famous economist, H. Thiel, defined it as econometrics is concerned with the empirical determination of economic laws. With these definitions, we can conclude that econometrics is a combination of economic theory plus mathematical economics and statistics. Then, what is economic theory? In economic theory, most of the economic students know about different theories or learn in economics. For instance, theory of demand, theory of supply, theory of consumption, theory of production, theory of markets, etc., etc. The well known theory, that is theory of demand, we can take here for discussion, that is theory of demand. We have taken the theory of demand, the example for economic theory. What theory of demand says? That is, demand for a commodity depends on its price and prices of its substitutes and consumers' income and on tastes and preferences. So, this economic theory, if we transform into mathematical equations. So, we have seen that economic theory, that is quantity demanded is depends on its price, substitutes price, consumers' income, tastes. These are the 4 factors on one side and one factor, that is quantity demanded on other side. So, generally the dependent variable we take it on left side and the independent variables we take on right side. Therefore, here the dependent variable is quantity demanded and the independent variables are price, its substitutes price, consumers' income and taste. These are independent variables we are taking right side. So, the suitable example or suitable model is simple regression model or multiple regression model. If the relationship between only 2 variables, we take it simple regression model. If the relationship between more than 2 variables, we can take multiple regression model. So, therefore, here we take linear regression model. In mathematics, we use linear regression model for estimation purposes, that is Qx. We are taking Qx as quantity demanded for a commodity x. So, x demand depends on its price x1, we are writing x1 price of the commodity, then x2 price of its substitutes, x3 consumer income and x4 taste. Then what is the B0? B0 is constant term. So, the quantity demanded for a commodity without these 4 factors, some constant demand will be there, some constant figure will be there. That is why we put B0 is a constant term. Remaining are all variables that can be changeable. So, in this equation, that is Qx is equal to B0 plus B1 x1 plus B2 x2 plus B3 x3 plus B4 x4, where Qx is quantity demanded for a commodity x and x1 is the price of the commodity x, x2 is price of its substitutes, and x3 is consumers income, x4 is tastes. B0, B1, B2, B3, B4, these are coefficients of the demand equation. These are unknowns. We have to find out these values with the help of econometric model. Now, we have seen first economic theory, then economic theory we have transformed this economic theory into mathematical economics. We have seen that the above demand equation is exact, because it implies that the only determinants of the quantity demanded are 4 factors, which appears in the right hand side of the equation. Quantity will change only if some of these factors change. No other factors may have any effect on demand based on the mathematical economics model. But in economic life, many factors may affect demand, not only these 4 factors, other factors will also influence the demand. They are invention of a new product. Suppose consumers, if you want to know the demand for a motorcycle at the present model, in the market if new variety of bike comes, then people may shift to that new model, not the existing model. So, therefore, how much its new product effect will be measured with the econometric techniques. Similarly, a war, if a war takes between 2 countries, that will also affect the present demand. And professional changes, any professional changes like management changes, then institutional changes, the political system changes, changes in law, then changes in income distribution, government's priority and government's distribution of income policies changes, automatically the demand for goods and services will also change. Then migration of the people moves from one place to another place, then also the demand will change, and other psychological and sociological factors. These factors will also influence the present demand. Therefore, to know the influence of these factors, we have to introduce to the present mathematical model, that is term u. U is a random variable that is well defined with the probabilistic properties. If we add u term, that is random term, to the mathematical model, then it will become econometric model. The econometric model consists Qx is equal to B0 plus B1 x1 plus B2 x2 plus B3 x3 plus B4 x4 plus u. U is a random variable. Further, we use statistical techniques like regression, correlation, standard error, t-test, f-test, etc. to estimate the above demand equation. Why do we take correlation here? Correlation says the relationship between 2 variables. Here we have taken quantity demanded and its various factors. That is, first factor is its price. Is there positive relationship or negative relationship? That can be known with the help of correlation technique. That is, demand, what type of relationship between price and demand will be known by correlation technique. After knowing the relationship, we can estimate if we change 1 unit of price, that means if the change in price leads to how much change in quantity demanded will be known with the help of regression technique. That is the difference between correlation and regression. Correlation studies only the nature of relationship, whether it is positive relationship or negative relationship, whereas in regression technique we can measure the exact value. If one variable changes, then what effect will be on the other variable. So, that will be explained with the help of regression technique. Then standard error. Standard error means if the standard error, that is we have to estimate the values, then we have to find out the standard error also. Standard error is lower, the reliability is more. If the standard error is higher, the reliability is less. Like that, we use t test, f test to estimate the demand equation. Then after framing the econometric model, we have to estimate the econometric model. So, that can be seen when the discussion takes place in simple regression model or multiple regression model. We can use practical measurement. Now, we study the relationship between econometrics and mathematical economics. Here mathematical economics and economic theory express the various economic relationships in an exact form, because in theory we frame these are the variables influence demand, and in mathematics also instead of theory we use the mathematical symbols. That is only the difference. Therefore, neither economic theory nor mathematical economics allows for random elements which might affect the relationship and make it stochastic. We are not using any random variable in economic theory or mathematical economics model. Further, these economic theory or mathematical economics do not provide numerical values for the coefficients of the relationship. With that, we cannot estimate if the price changes, how much demand will change, or if the consumer's income increases, how much demand will increase. That cannot be measured with mathematical economics or economic theory. Then econometrics assumes that relationships are not exact. These are influenced by random variables that we have seen just now. Econometric methods are designed to take into account the random disturbances. Further, econometric methods provide exact numerical value for the coefficient of economic relationships that can be measured. As I said earlier, if 1 unit change in price, then how many units will change in demand, or if 1 unit change in consumer's income, then how many units will change in demand. That can be measured with econometric techniques, whereas mathematical economics do not provide any numerical value for the coefficients. In econometrics, forecasting and policy making is possible, whereas in mathematical economics such policy making is not possible. Then we will go for relationship between econometrics and statistics. Econometrics differs both from mathematical statistics and economic statistics. An economic statistician gathers empirical data, records them, tabulates them or charts them, and then describe the relationship between variables. Economic statistics is mainly a descriptive aspect of economics. It does not provide measurement of the parameters of economic relationships. So, econometrics uses statistical methods after adapting them to the problems of economic life. We use statistics in econometrics, but we convert the statistical methods into real economic life. After converting them, then only we use in econometrics. So, in particular, econometric methods are adjusted so that they become appropriate of the measurement of economic relationships which are stochastic. Now, let us discuss functions of econometrics. The functions of econometrics, broadly we can categorize 3 types. They are testing of economic theory or hypothesis, second, providing numerical estimates of the coefficients of economic relationships for decision making, and forecasting the future values. Let us discuss first testing of economic theory or hypothesis. Hypothesis is a statement of theory, any statement of theory. For instance, in economics, we have so many theories: theory of demand, theory of production, theory of consumption, theory of investment, etc., etc. In this theory, how the variables changes with one variable to the other variable, that we can see in the theory of demand. What theory of demand says? If the price of goods increases, the demand for that particular good decrease. How much it is? If the price of one particular good increases by some units, then what will be the effect on demand? So, now we can say that the theory, if the price of a good increases, demand decrease. This is one type of statement. Price of a commodity or good or service increases, the demand for that particular good or service decrease. Whether this statement is true or false, that can be tested with the help of econometric method. So, this statement is called hypothesis. Similarly, in consumption function, income increases. If the consumer's income increases, the consumption will increase, but the rate of consumption increases between 0 to 1. That means, the MPC, marginal propensity to consume, is in between 0 to 1. That is propounded by Keynes. Whether this is accepted or not, whether this theory is true or not, that can be tested. And in the production function, law of variable proportions theory. In the law of variable proportions theory, if we go on increasing the laborers, then the average product, marginal product and total product diminishes at particular point. So, are they true or not? This can be tested. So, what we are saying, the statements all are called hypothesis. Hypothesis means it is a statement of theory. So, that can be tested, and we can take one more example. Is the quantity demanded of a commodity inversely related to its price? That means, quantity demanded of a commodity, that is quantity demand, is inversely related to its price, is inversely related or positively, or positive relationship, inverse relationship or positive relationship. What type of relationship can be measured? So, to test this hypothesis, we need empirical evidence. That means, there is a negative relationship between price and demand. This hypothesis, to test this hypothesis, we need empirical data. Based on data, we can find out the values. Then providing, second point, that is providing numerical estimates of the coefficients of economic relationships for decision making. As I said earlier, in economic theory and in mathematical economics and in statistics, decision making is not possible. Only in econometrics we can forecast. How that is? For example, if the company manager wanted to increase the price of motorcycle by 10,000 rupees to the existing price, then he wants to know the number of units fall in demand. So, for this example, we take the following demand equation, that is Qx. Qx is always, we know that dependent variable is on left side and independent variables on right side. So, dependent variable is here is demand of motorcycle, that is Qx, and x is its price. B0, B1 are coefficients. With the help of econometric techniques, we find out the values of the coefficients. Whereas in mathematical economics, these coefficients means here B0 and B1, that actual values in economic theory or mathematical economics or statistics is not possible to estimate. Only in econometrics we can estimate the B0 and B1 values. So, therefore, econometrics provide numerical estimates of the coefficients of economic relationships for decision making. Then, after finding the values of B0 and B1, B0 is nothing but constant, B1 is coefficient. After finding their values, we can also forecast the future values. For example, with the help of econometric techniques, we can forecast the future values of motorcycles. In the year 2020, what will be the demand for two-wheelers will also be estimated based on the econometric techniques, and also policy decisions will also be taken with this econometric techniques.